This weekend, the Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off Knuckles drops on Paramount+. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Let me know what's your excitement level for the Knuckles series, and if you've seen it, what did you think about it? With that said, let's get started with the review. And this is a show that I was actually really excited to check out. One of the things that I really appreciate about the modern streaming era is that the line and division between movies and television has disappeared, in which case you can have these streaming-based, television-based continuations of movie franchises where you'll get the stars of big franchises making appearances in TV shows. And so when they first announced this, I went, I kind of dig that. I like the idea of Knuckles getting his own little spin-off, his own place to be front and center that expands the lore just a little bit, but without necessarily being a mandatory piece of the storyline. And so I dug it. And then the trailer came out a couple months back, and it captured the right vibe. It really did feel like it fit in the world of the Sonic movies, but we're spinning off a story about Knuckles and having his own little story being told. Unfortunately, the TV show as a whole does not at all deliver on the promise of the premise. About 20%, 25% of this show is exactly what I hoped it would be. When the show focuses in on Knuckles trying to find his place on Earth while being hunted down by the organization, the gun organization, and they're trying to build out tech and big robots and things like that. When it's a Sonic spinoff with Knuckles in the lead, it's good. Of course, Idris Elba is a fun choice to do Knuckles. Knuckles with his warrior ethic is a lively, fun character. And whenever you have big robot things, it's cool. Whenever you have laser tech and things like that, it's cool. The problem is 75% of this show is about Wade. When you look at the season as a whole, really the main plot line is about Wade trying to compete in a bowling tournament while reconciling with his family, with the side character of Knuckles having a character arc about trying to train up a warrior to find purpose on the Earth. That's what the show really is. And then a subplot about some people trying to track down Knuckles. But the blunt force of it, the main driving force of the plot is Wade and a bowling tournament. That's what pushes things forward. And you get into it. In the second episode, they sideline Knuckles and put the focus on Wade. The third episode is about Wade and his family and family dinner. The fourth episode is about Wade trying to escape from something and the adventure that goes on with him while Knuckles is back somewhere else. The fourth episode is about Wade and stuff going on with him. Notice a pattern here? The show is about Wade, not Knuckles. And that is so unbelievably disappointing. And I don't even mind Wade as a character in and of himself, I think could have been fine. In episodes 1 and 6, where the plot is properly balanced between Wade and Knuckles, Wade is fine. However, when you're really diving into Wade and his family issues, while Knuckles has disappeared or Knuckles is just sitting at the table quietly, your show just loses all momentum. Obviously, we are all watching a Knuckles show because we want to see Knuckles. No one cares about Wade. No one is watching this show for Wade. We're certainly not watching it for Wade's sister, who they hired like some comedian, and it feels like she's just riffing and making up all of her lines, and they're not funny. We're not there to meet his parents and learn about their marital issues and his daddy issues. But that's so much of what this show is actually about. And it's incredibly disappointing because in the show, when it's focused on Knuckles, you go, yeah, that's it. That's what we wanted. And most of the show is not about Knuckles. It feels like a very below average sitcom about a bowling tournament with a fun subplot about Knuckles. That's what the show is. And kind of even beyond that, so much of the humor feels like in-jokes that I don't think kids would understand. There's this whole bit about TJ Maxx, where maybe they were trying to copy the Olive Garden joke from the Sonic movies, and they just keep talking about TJ Maxx. My kids don't know what TJ Maxx is. There's a lot of all these like weird kind of references to rock operas and things like that that just kids won't understand it. It's very juvenile in humor. Like the second episode, I was thinking, oh, okay, this is like the Nickelodeon version of Sonic. Like it's very kiddie in nature at times with its juvenile humor. But then we're having all these jokes that kids won't understand. They won't catch the references. Even some of the casting choices, I'm not sure exactly what they were going for, where they cast Cary Elwes as well as Stockard Channing in the film. I assume that they're a little bit pricier to get them to do a show like this, considering what their parts are in the show. But it's not like there's a lot of children that will be like, oh, look, Cary Elwes. Oh, look, Stockard Channing. She was in Grease. And so it's like they overcast these parent roles and then undercast a bunch of the side roles, or they spent money on the casting and didn't spend enough time to do VFX for Knuckles. Like, I just don't understand what they were thinking. I don't know how they went wrong, because I don't think anyone could watch this show and think that had as much Knuckles as I wanted it to have. I just can't fathom anyone thinking that. Even if you like the Wade stuff, even if you like the show, you'll be like, yeah, Knuckles should have been in it more, and he should have been more the focus of the show. And so was it a budget issue? Did they think they were going to be able to do more with the budget that they had than they were able to actually pull off? Like something went very wrong at some point in time, or they greenlit just a stupid idea like, hey, what if we did a Wade show and then like Knuckles is in it too a little bit? Like what? I just don't understand what happened here with this show. And, you know, our villains in it, the main guy is played by the actor who was the Hound on Game of Thrones. He's amusing enough. It's fun when he's in a big robot suit. The two henchmen, one of them is, I know her from Ted Lasso. I mean, they're fine. They're not memorable. They're not written to be memorable. None of them have anything particularly interesting about them. They're just kind of like people like out to stop aliens and grab quills and stuff like that for power. Just generic stuff that feels like leftover characters from the movies just dropped in here. And that's kind of the problem with the whole thing. It just feels ill-conceived. Like none of it was inspired. None of these are great ideas. It's just a lazy sitcom that happens to have Knuckles in it. And when Knuckles is in it, when Knuckles is doing stuff, it's fun and it's cool. But that's just such a small percentage of the Knuckles show, which is baffling. So put it all together, I can't recommend checking it out. It doesn't really do anything important with the plot that you'll need to watch it before watching Sonic 2. It just kind of ends pretty abruptly at the end of it. The episodes are under 30 minutes long. Sonic and Tails are in it for like 5 minutes total. So, I don't know. It's a total miscalculation. And in an era where just 2 weeks back we got Fallout, which was a fantastic adaptation of a video game, where streaming services are doing it right. Paramount Plus has done some adaptations of movies into TV shows even recently, like with Ted, that were really good. This one misses the mark. And I don't even know why, because it seems like they knew what people wanted. They just gave us Wade and his family and Shabbat dinner instead, which is baffling to me. We didn't want bowling tournaments. We wanted Knuckles battling robots. I'm truly baffled. Let me know what you thought. Let me know your excitement level, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.